Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something pretty revolutionary. It's a workflow that can take high-end web design from this weeks-long, painful struggle and turn it into just an afternoon of pure creativity. We're going to break down how you can build a stunning, modern, animated website using free AI tools that really anyone can get their hands on.
Okay, so let's just start with a hard truth. In literally the time it takes you to blink, a visitor has already decided if your site feels premium and trustworthy or if it just feels outdated. That first impression, it is absolutely everything. And you know, most websites either work well or they look good. It's incredibly rare to find one that nails both.
You see, the old way of getting a beautiful, animated website was this slow, technical battle. It meant you needed deep coding skills and just endless, messy tweaking. But a new paradigm is here. It's one that shifts the focus away from fighting with code and puts it on guiding a creative vision. So let's explore what that actually looks like.
We're moving beyond that choice between a site that works well and one that looks good. The goal now is to get both, and to get them seamlessly. You know, modern websites are really defined by how they feel, how they move, and how they guide your eye. Aesthetics and function, they're no longer separate goals. They are two sides of the exact same coin.
This new philosophy is what we're calling vibe coding, and it's all about letting the aesthetics lead the way. So instead of building a clunky skeleton and then trying to slap some paint on it to make it look good, we establish the entire visual direction first. And we can do this with a really simple, repeatable workflow that's powered by the kind of AI tools that are becoming freely available to everyone. So, the crucial point here is this simple, three-step mantra: frames, motion, build. That's it. First, we generate our core visuals. Then, we bring those visuals to life with animation. And finally, we let an AI build the actual functional website around our animated assets. Let's break down exactly how this works.
Every great site starts with a super clear visual direction. And this is the step most people skip, right? They jump straight into building, and they end up with this inconsistent mess of colors and lighting and textures. We are not going to make that mistake. We're going to start by defining the foundation.
Okay, for our first step, we'll use a conceptual tool. Let's call it Google Whisk, powered by an image model like Nano Banana. Now, the key idea here is to use an AI image generator to create our core visual assets. And we're not just making random pictures. We're very specifically generating a start frame and an end frame that will define the look, the tone, and the direction for the entire animation. It's really helpful to think of this step just like choosing the color, tone, and lighting before you do a big photo shoot. By nailing down these key visual elements right up front, we make sure that every single part of the design feels cohesive and intentional. Get this foundation right, and believe me, everything else just becomes easy.
And the process itself is really straightforward. First, we give the AI a detailed prompt describing our starting visual. You know, the lighting, the mood, the composition. Then, and this is important, we upload a reference image to guide the style and keep all the colors and textures consistent. We generate a few options, pick the best one, and then we just repeat that whole process for our animation's end frame.
All right, with our static start and end frames ready to go, it is time to bring them to life. Because great design isn't just about how something looks, it's about how it moves. This is where our website starts to get that really smooth, modern, premium feel. For this part, we turn to a tool like Google Flow. The idea is an AI video model that takes our start and end frames and then intelligently generates the video that connects them. This is what creates that subtle depth, that movement, and those transitions that make a design feel so dynamic and engaging, instead of just static and flat. And again, the process is super simple. We switch our tool to a frames to video mode, we upload our assets, and then we give it a motion prompt. We're basically telling the AI how we want it to move. We're looking for smooth transitions, consistent lighting. Once we're happy with it, we just download the video and convert it to a web-friendly format like WebP, which is crucial for keeping it lightweight enough to load really quickly. So we have our visuals, we have our motion. The final and honestly most magical step is turning these assets into a real, functional, parallax website that actually responds to a user's scroll. Because beautiful ideas don't mean much until they become real structure on the page.
The final piece of this puzzle is an AI builder, something along the lines of Firebase Studio. This thing acts as the bridge that transforms our design direction into real code. It would take our style guide, our colors, our spacing, our imagery, and just write all the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript needed to build the site, all without us having to write a single line. It's amazing.
So, using a tool like this, we would feed it a master prompt that has all of our style decisions. The AI analyzes that and just generates a functional prototype, complete with placeholder images. Then all we have to do is swap its placeholders with our custom assets from the previous steps and hit publish. That's it.
So after following these 3 steps, frames, motion, build, what's the outcome? What do we actually have at the end of this whole process?
Well, you're looking at a massive reduction in the time and technical skill that's traditionally required. I mean, effects that used to take weeks of painstaking design and coding can now be prototyped and built in just a few hours. It is a complete transformation of the entire workflow.
And the final product? It's a fully realized aesthetic website. This isn't some clumsy imitation. It's a clean, functional site where the visuals, the motion, and the structure all come together perfectly. The layout is balanced, the visuals are consistent, and that motion feels polished and premium from the very first scroll.
The kinds of tools that make all this possible are becoming free and accessible, and the workflow itself is crystal clear. This process is truly democratizing high-end design, making it possible for anyone to bring a sophisticated vision to life. The technical barriers are just falling away, so really the only limit left is your own creativity.